Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2021. I did recently do this video, I think last year, and my opinions kind of changed a little bit. I wanted to go back and look over these movies, and there was a bit of a shuffle in the order, and some were cut, some new ones were put in. But yeah, wanted to redo this video with a bit of a fresh perspective, and yeah, come up with my top 15, and there were just some entertaining gems from 2021. A superb year for cinema, in my opinion. Just yeah, we got quite a few good ones, and I know there was a lot of delays because of COVID, and yeah, we just got some amazing films, in my opinion, for 2021. So yeah, these are going to be my top 15. These movies I've chosen, as always, these are just my personal favourite movies. Your list is going to be different, and so it should be. But yeah, these are just my personal favourite ones. I'm going to leave a full list of honourable mentions down below in the comments as well, movies that didn't make the cut. And again, all these movies have 2021 against their name, again, according with IMDb. So yeah, that's the criteria I've used to what make these movies qualify for 2021. So that being said, I'm going to get straight into it with number 15. So coming in at number 15 for me, we have James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Yeah, I believe this was James Gunn's first venture into DC, certainly making movies, and he, for me, made a very entertaining, very character-driven movie with an amazing third act, which I just absolutely loved. It was almost like a kaiju, well, it was pretty much a kaiju movie, and I just thought this was a lot of fun. It was so entertaining. It was leaps and bounds better, in my opinion, than the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. That movie on rewatch, it was very dull. It was a lot more of a struggle to get through that film. Unfortunately, it just didn't hold up. But this one, for me, it was brighter, it was more colourful in terms of its palette and its characters, and I just enjoyed it a hell of a lot more. That's not, if you prefer the 2016 one, more power to you. But for me, this was my favourite out of the two, and I just really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my number 15 pick, The Suicide Squad. So coming in at number 14 for me, we have James Wan's *Malignant*. Yeah, this was a movie I was kind of late to the party to. I'd heard so many good things about it, saying, not good things and mixed things. And yeah, I was very intrigued to see it, and I finally managed to sit down and watch it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the take on it. It was, I'll give it this, it was an original horror film. I hadn't really seen anything like it, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the route it went down, the directions it took. The third act was really fun. I just had a good time with it. Yeah, it was a solid horror film. I really, really enjoyed it. It's probably not one I'm going to go back to a hell of a lot and rewatch, but yeah, it worked for me. I got a lot of positive out of it, and yeah, it was just enjoyable. It was entertaining. I enjoyed the villain. I enjoyed that sort of twist and reveal and aspect to it. And yeah, it was just a fun horror film. I understand it's not for everyone, but for me, I enjoyed it for what it was. So coming at number 14, we have *Malignant*. So coming in at number 13 for me, we have *The Sadness*. Yeah, this was a movie that had been recommended to me. People said, "Oh, you've got to check out *The Sadness*. It's this great foreign infection movie," and yeah, I sat down and watched it, and I thought, okay, this is kind of slow. I wonder when we're gonna, the ball's gonna get rolling, and when that ball gets rolling with this film, it's unstoppable. The gore, the blood, the violence in this movie is just unparalleled. It is in your face. It is unapologetic. It's just wonderful for a gorehound, if that's your type of movie. You know, if you love the video nasties, splatter movies, gore, this movie is for you. You know, but it's a modern version of Peter Jackson's Brain Dead for me. You know, it rivals that with its effects, just in the modern era. And yeah, I just thought it was great. It had great characters. It was absolutely brutal with some of the kills in this movie. It was just savage, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It was so entertaining. It was so well done, and yeah, just really appreciated the movie for what it was. So that is my number 13 pick, The Sadness. So coming in at number 12 for me, we have Judas and the Black Messiah. Really enjoyed this one. I thought this was an absolutely fantastic drama starring Daniel Kaluuya. Phenomenal actor. He's just gone from strength to strength. I really enjoyed him in Get Out and Widows. I thought he was absolutely intimidating in that film. And yeah, he really did put in the effort here. It really showed. I just thought it was a fantastic movie about betrayal, and this other character in the movie who was struggling with that and what he was going to do. And yeah, it was just a great political movie. Really enjoyed it. Great supporting cast as well. Martin Sheen was pretty much unrecognisable in this movie. And yeah, I just thought it was excellent. Really enjoyed it. It was just a fabulous time. Yeah, really entertaining movie. So that is my next pick, Judas and the Black Messiah. So coming in at number 11 for me, we have Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom. Yeah, this was a sort of a modern musical inspired by a true story. And yeah, it's a great performance from Andrew Garfield in this, who the movie's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda as well, who I've made no secret about this. I am not a fan of his. But for me, it was his work behind the camera in this movie that I thought was excellent. I thought this movie had great characters. I thought it had a great story about someone who was wanting to try and accomplish something in life, and they thought, have they got the time to do that? And yeah, it was very interesting. It played out excellently, in my opinion. Usually musicals for me are kind of like the kiss of death. Am I going to like it? Am I going to hate it? And I enjoyed this film. It's one I do need to rewatch because it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, I just remember really liking it for what it was. And I loved the characters in it. And I thought Andrew Garfield was superb. So yeah, just missing out on the top 10. Coming in at number 11, we have Tick, Tick, Boom. So coming in at number 10 for me, we have an animated movie, and that is The Mitchells versus the Machines. Yeah, this movie was an absolute joy. The animation was just absolutely stellar. Very much like the Spider-Man movies. It was the same, I believe it was the same people involved in making those animated movies, and yeah, the animation is just absolutely relentless, and that's the thing that lends well to this movie, is the animation. You can accomplish a lot more with animation in your storytelling than you kind of think with live action, because the creativity is a lot more broader and wider, and this movie captures it so well. Sort of following this family on this road trip, and this robotic apocalypse is about to happen, and it unravels, and this family are heroes in this movie. And yeah, it was just so fun, so entertaining, colourful, bright, creative, a real fun time. So yeah, that is my next pick, The Mitchells versus the Machines. So coming in at number 9 for me, we have Denis Villeneuve's Dune, or Dune Part 1. He is a fantastic director. I think the guy does not make garbage at all. Every film I've seen by him is just a visual marvel. The performances he gets out of his actors are second to none. They're just absolutely brilliant. And yeah, the guy is one of the best directors, in my opinion, working today. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes with that second movie as well. And yeah, this was no exception. Like I said, it's a visual marvel, adaptation of the book as well. And yeah, the '84 movie is a movie I think it's okay for me. It's fine. I enjoy that movie for what it is, but this brought that cinematic scope that I don't think could have been accomplished back in the early '80s. And yeah, I just thought this was a marvel. It's a bit slow with its pacing, but this movie to look at is just breathtaking. The effects in it are top notch. Um, yeah, it's just a joy to watch for me, this film. I just think it's absolutely exceptional. A real treat for the eyes. So, yeah, coming up next for me, we have June. So, coming in at number 8 for me, we have Disney's Cruella. Um, yeah, of recent times, I think Disney, with their sort of live action remakes, very cut and paste, lacking in soul and creativity and their own sort of spin, in my opinion. This movie could have done that. I think that this wasn't a straight up live action remake of 101 Dalmatians. This told a different, unique story that we didn't know. Emma Stone was absolutely brilliant in this movie as Cruella, perfectly cast, in my opinion, and the supporting cast in this movie were just a joy to watch, sort of elevate her in this movie. Emma Thompson made for a fantastic, memorable villain as well, and the two sort of sidekicks were just absolutely hilarious. This was just a fun, new story, and I just sat down, watched this movie, and I just was enthralled and loved to see where it was going as the movie unraveled with its story. I just thought it was great. It was colourful, it was creative. Yeah, it was just a breath of fresh air for Disney, and I think they should have done this a bit more often with their other projects, because this one feels like the outlier. This is a great movie from what I think has just been a rapid fire of mediocrity from Disney with their live action remakes, and this one was just great. It was a treat. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, that is my next pick, Cruella. So coming up at number 7 for me, we have Bob Odenkirk in Nobody. Yeah, this was a movie I was dying to see. This felt very much like it was taking a page out of the John Wick movies, sort of following this character who his home's broken into, and he starts to think, he starts to put things into perspective as to what he can do to try and change that situation. He obviously has a past as well in this movie, and it just led to just, again, a brilliant John Wick-esque action movie with a bit of a different story to it. And I just loved it. I thought Christopher Lloyd was great in this movie. It was fantastic to see Michael Ironside back in a movie. And yeah, I just thought it was absolutely wonderful. It was, it sort of breathed a bit of new life in sort of Bob Odenkirk's career. And yeah, I just absolutely loved the movie. I just thought it was so entertaining. It was so great. There was one song that played in this movie which I wasn't a big fan of. If anyone knows me, you'll know why. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I thought this was an exceptional action movie. So yeah, that is my next pick, Nobody. So coming in at number 6 for me, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love the first Ghostbusters movie, and I really enjoy the sequel, although it's nowhere near as good as the original. And the idea of a third Ghostbusters movie was thrown around for a long time, and we got that 2016 movie, which I think that movie's okay for what it is. It doesn't deserve the hate that it gets, I think, but it's not without its flaws. I will say that it's a flawed movie, and for me, that just didn't do it wasn't the third Ghostbusters movie I wanted. It wasn't the third Ghostbusters movie that was planned. And then this one was announced, and it was going to be directed by the original director's son. And I think, given the amount of time that passed, finally getting this movie off the ground, I think this movie handled things brilliantly with its with what time had dealt this series, the passing of Harold Ramis. I think it handled things very, very tastefully, and it passed the torch on. It was the perfect blend of old and new for me, and I just really, really enjoyed it. I had a blast. It was crowd pleasing, it was entertaining, and yeah, for me, it really, really worked. I just really, really enjoyed this movie. It was that missing third piece I think we were missing from a Ghostbusters trilogy. And we're getting a new movie as well this year, which I'm really, really excited to see where that goes, because this movie is a bridging movie for me between the original and what we're going to get in the future. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. And yeah, I just thought it was a blast, a real, real ton of fun. So yeah, that is my next pick, Ghostbusters Afterlife. So coming up next for me at number 5, this for me is where the quality really, really shows. It was very hard to sort of put these next 5 movies into some sort of order, because I loved all 5 of them. So yeah, coming in at number 5, we have the movie that won Best Picture this year, and that is Coda. Yeah, this was a phenomenal drama about family. I absolutely loved it. It followed the story of this girl who, her family's pretty much deaf. She's the only one who can hear, and is sort of their she's their go-to. She's their gateway to the hearing world, to the everyday world that we all know and love. She is their gateway, their spokesperson, and they're a family of fishermen. And she wants to she realizes that this isn't the lifestyle she wants, what she wants to do. She wants to be a singer, and it's all about her family, her father in particular, coming to terms with that. And the way that this movie was executed was brilliant. It was very similar to The Father. It knew when and where to put you in the driving seat, and how to sort of be in that position a deaf person would be in towards the end of the movie, which I thought was absolutely magical and a testament to this film. It was just so well done. It was just brilliant. Well worthy of winning that Oscar for Best Picture, and a couple of acting accolades as well. It was just so well done. Really, really enjoyed this film. But it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, coming in at number 5, we have Coda. So coming in at number 4 for me, just missing out on the podium places, we have Mass. Yeah, this is a very small movie. It's character driven, it's dialogue driven. The 4 main leads of this movie are carrying this movie. They've got the weight of this movie on their shoulders. And this is probably the best written movie from 2021. It's absolutely exceptional. It follows 2 couples who have both lost their sons in an incident. I won't go into what the incident is, but it's these 2 couples are both on opposite ends of the situation, of the spectrum in this movie, and it plays out so wonderfully. Jason Isaacs is the star of the show. He's phenomenal in this movie. It's probably his best performance, if I'm honest, but the 4 actors in this movie all deliver an amazing performances. They are flawless in this movie. The script that they have to work with is phenomenal. It's just, I don't want to talk about what they're talking about in the movie too much, because it's best to go in knowing as little as possible. But you do sort of really get hooked into what they're talking about. And it's not an easy topic, but yeah, it's just so well done. If you've not seen this movie, please check this one out, because I thought the acting in it was absolutely superb. So yeah, just missing out on the podium places for me, we have Mass. So coming in at number 3 for me, taking the bronze medal, we have Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. This was a movie I went into knowing absolutely nothing about, didn't know anything about the premise, where it was set, who was going to be in it, nothing. All I was going into this movie was my interest was hinged on the fact that it was Edgar Wright, and the movie blew me away. I absolutely loved it. I loved the cast. I thought the cast were absolutely fantastic. I loved the story. I loved the plot. I loved the way the movie unravelled, leading up to its final act, which I just didn't see coming. The music in it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's one of these movies you need to go into knowing absolutely nothing, and it'll just play out so wonderfully for you. I thought it was exceptional. The colours in this movie were just riveting. It's an exceptional 4K transfer as well. But yeah, it was just a delight. It took you down one path and then threw you a curveball many a time in the movie, and I just love the style of it. I just thought it was wonderful. It may not be the best in terms of the best script or the best executed, but for me it was just wonderful. I left the cinema with a massive smile on my face after watching this film, and yeah, I just thought it was absolutely exceptional. So if you've not seen it, put this on one night and I think you'll have a good time with it. So yeah, coming at number 3 for me, we have Last Night in Soho. So coming in at number 2 for me, taking the bronze medal, just missing out on the top spot, we have PTA's Licorice Pizza. Yeah, I really enjoy Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. My favourite being Boogie Nights. I absolutely love that film. And I really, really love There'll Be Blood as well. So there was a lot riding on this for me. I think the last couple of his movies haven't blown the socks off me, but Licorice Pizza for me was quite a return to form. I really liked it. I really dug the characters in this. As the two leads in this movie, who I don't think had ever really acted in a movie of this caliber before, you would feel as if they would have the weight on their shoulders. They took to this movie like a duck to water with their acting. It was they were just absolutely exceptional. Like I said, I love the cast of characters in this movie. I love the story. I know it can be a bit iffy for people with what this movie is actually about, the relationship between the two main leads itself. Yeah, absolutely 100% get why you wouldn't like that. But for me, it was fine. I never really saw it as an issue personally in terms of denting my enjoyment with the movie. And yeah, I just, again, really, really enjoyed it. Didn't know what really the movie was about, similar to Last Night in Soho, going into it with my interest being hinged on the director and sort of the buzz around this movie. But again, not for everyone, but for me, it was a delight. It had an amazing soundtrack. It introduced me to some songs from that time period that I absolutely loved. That one by Wings, Let Me Roll It. It was just an amazing song. I listen to that song quite often now because of this film. And yeah, I just thought it was absolutely exceptional. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one I need to give a rewatch to as well because, yeah, like I said, when I did rewatch it after seeing it at the cinema, it still had that same effect on me. So yeah, coming in at number 2 for me, just missing out on the top spot, we have Licorice Pizza. So that leaves us with one movie left, and for me, this was hands down going to be my favourite film of the year. I knew this was going to be my favourite film of the year as soon as I left the cinema. And I saw this movie 3 times at the cinema, and it is Spider-Man No Way Home. For me, this was a return to that excitement about movies. There was a lot of buzz about this movie. I'd never seen so much speculation about a film and it truly delivered with the hype. You hear that a lot about movies. It didn't live up to the hype, or there was too much hype about the film. For me, this was a fine example of a movie living up to that burden of having a hype that big, and it was just exceptional. The big grin on my face when I left the cinema, I was just so happy. And this was a celebration of Spider-Man for me, the cinematic version of Spider-Man that we know and love over the years. This was just a real treat for Spider-Man movie fans. And yeah, like I said, it absolutely delivered. The cast was amazing. The plot and story I thought was absolutely fantastic. It very much feels like a part 2 to the previous Spider-Man movie as well, Far From Home. They're very linked with their endings and beginnings, and yeah, it was just exceptional. It was entertaining to boot. It was everything you go for the cinema for, and I just thought it was an absolute delight. Don't dare want to spoil anything to do with the plot with this movie, but yeah, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll have seen this movie by now, and you'll have known what it was about. And sadly, we haven't seen the MCU hit the highs of this movie's after Endgame. It's been very mediocre from the MCU of recent times, and this one was one of the best. And yeah, I just thought it was exceptional, entertaining to boot. Really creative movie. The people who worked on this and everything, all the work that went into it, paid off. And yeah, it was just it was great to have that excitement and that buzz back about going into a movie, which I don't think we've had since. And for that reason, it's my favorite movie of 2021, I should say. And yeah, it was exceptional. So that is my number 1 pick. Spider-Man No Way Home. So that is it, guys. Those are all of my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2021. Gonna leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.